Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from group 5. Before we go on to the topics, I would like to ask some questions. When was the last time we read a book? Is it today? Yesterday? Last week? Last month? Or even last year? As adults, we know that how important it is to read a book. But sometimes it doesn't show in our daily activity. Let's take further. How about younger generation who got information mostly from the internet? Do they think reading still important to them? In this presentation, we will find out all of that. Indonesian people do not like reading. Is it true? From various surveys indicates that Indonesian people have low score or low rates in reading interest. National Library released data shown only 10% of Indonesian whom on the age above 10 years old interest in reading. From that survey, researchers wants to find out that is it the reading interest represent the reading habits. Meanwhile, the reading media becomes a very various nowadays. It could be from internet, could be from ebook, could be from social media. The researcher make a research question, and the presently reading interest represent the overall reading habit, considering availability of various types of reading nowadays. The methodology in this research are quantitative research. The researcher using survey, the instrument and the data collection are table of statistics online, news, and survey result of Global Research Institution GfK and Indonesian Digital Association or IDA in 2015.
Reading elements in digital era. There are 5 elements in assessing reading interest in digital era. The first one is the essence of reading. Reading is aimed to gain information, increase knowledge, entertainment, and self-development. Reading activity stimulate readers' mind active to certain goals. The next stage is analyze the reading materials, the reading source, the reading media, and reading goals. The second element is the technology evolution. Indonesian society familiar with oral tradition, for example, when they have folklore, and also they have fairy tale, which is told by their grandparents. It happens since they were born. The culture or reading culture was growing and growing. Internet technology established since 1980s. In 1982, Siti was released as the form of media. In 1995, websites were developed with the born of cities. In 2004, Google introduced Google Print that has been known as Google Book. Now, society tends to get information from various sources faster than before. It even becomes faster when social media hit a rapid growth in 2000s.
The third one is the society characteristic in digital era. The society characteristic has transformed along with evolution of ICT. In Google, we can find other language every day with unlimited time because some of the people need more information immediately. It eventually affects their reading needs and behavior. The fourth one is reading as social activity. Social media started in 1978 in bulletin board. Then it grew rapidly in 2000, like Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc. Social media growth enable real-time interaction. Reading then becomes a social activity. People also use social media to share reading materials. The dissemination of reading materials through social media in Indonesia is very potential.
The last one is the reading behavior in digital area. Message on online media, especially social media, has four characteristics. That is, everyone can generate information, message delivered briefly, information distribution in incredibly fast and simultaneously. Also, there is interaction among the users, both real-time and non-real-time. Next, society's reading behavior change, as if the world is in our hand only by having a gadget. And then people do reading all the time, whether reading web contents, new feed on social media, ebook, email, etc. Accessing reading materials is only a thumb away. People tend to do things quickly, so they read the contents briefly without a proper attention, then share it shortly without accurately check. It is as if everyone wants to be the first source of the information. There is a potential to review the reading habit. We can make use of people's tendency to actualize themselves in social media to popularize reading habit. Conclusion of reading behavior in digital area is considering the charms of reading behavior. Reading interest is not necessarily about how many books have been read, but also how many of information sources.
The survey results of Global Research Institution, GFK, and Indonesian Digital Association, or IDA, in 2015 indicated that 90% of news consumption is via online media in 2016. It shows that only 4% of it via printed media or newspaper. The table shows the daily visitor and daily page views of the tik.com is the most. The daily page view of the tik.com reached 6,676,788. By the average, more than 90% of Indonesian readers on its site. Then, how is the contribution of reading through online media to the index of Indonesian reading interest? The contribution of reading through internet in Indonesia is very potential, considering the amount of internet users in Indonesia.
This slide is explained about information access in digital gap. In digital era, provide facility and velocity in accessing information. It shows that nowadays that's absolutely make us to be easy and fast accessing the internet and information. However, there are some points needs to be considered, namely, it means there are some things that you have to attention. The first, adequate infrastructure, the accessibility of reading material plays a role in affecting reading interest. For example, in internet and information can be accessed in the same place in Indonesia from Sabang and Merauke. Everyone can be accessed more easily to access internet and information. But there are some gap in some place that at least internet connection and PC, personal computer, needs to be provided for the society. The second is a human resources capability. Digital literacy is needed as guidance for the society. This means and show that humans and society needs to educate to digital literacy when they read a book. The goals of the human resources capability is to find the differences, the true information and the wrong information. For example, and true news and hoax news. That's important. It's really important for everyone, especially in nowadays era, need to digital literacy when they read a book. And the last is reading source. In 2015, National Library stated that the increasing number of library in Indonesia is followed by the decreasing number of visitors. It means there are many library in Indonesia, but it's a decreasing visitor to a library. It's not irrelevant when you have a many library in every place, but the visitor is low and decrease. It means we have to be ready with digital reading materials in nowadays.
Evaluation. Reading is no longer considered an ability acquired only in childhood, during the early years of schooling. Instead, it is viewed as an expanding set of knowledge, skills, and strategies that individuals build on through life in various contexts through interaction with their peers and the wider community. Reading in today's world is very different from just 20 years ago. Up to the middle 1990s, reading was mostly performed with paper. Print matter exists in many different forms, shapes, texture, from the children's books to length novels, from the leaflets to encyclopedia, from newspapers and magazines to scholarly journals, from administration form to notes on billboard. The conclusion in this journal is digital era has changed society's reading behavior. The parameters of reading interest need to be revisited. Reading interest can no longer be accessed by how many books have been read, but also how many reading materials online have been clicked, read, share, discussed, saved, or downloaded.
This is our reference. We're done with the presentation. We hope that you get good information from our presentation.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.